Hello and welcome to our very first Zoom call tennis. It's a simple concept, 3 questions from me to a leading thought leader in our marketplace and 3 questions back on subjects that hopefully you'll find important. And today I'm really delighted to introduce you to Shona Ann Hill from Conscious Living Global. And also we've got Mark Byrne, who is from the 3 Bears Foundation. Hello and welcome to you both.
Good morning. Morning, Chris.
Hello, Chris. Lovely to be here with you.
Absolutely. So simple process, Shona. I'm going to ask you 3 questions and it's kind of like a game of tennis. And once you're finished with your answer, send it back to me and I will then answer your question. Are we okay with the concept?
Yep.
Yep. And we've got a little bit at the end to talk to Mark from the 3 Bears Foundation because today's call is also a charitable venture for Mark. So Mark, do you want to say hello quickly?
Good morning, everyone. Delighted to be here. Hoping you won't need an umpire for the tennis, Chris, but always ready to step in if there's any line calls.
Oh, Mark, I knew I could rely on you. Okay, so first question to you then, Shona. The date of today's broadcast is the 23rd of September, which represents, I think, the autumn solstice. And in your world, Shona, what's the significance of the solstice in terms of a calendar event?
It signifies a time of change, but also to bring about solid foundations and grounding for what you wish to manifest or bring into your world going forward. And this year in itself has been very interesting as it's had 13 moons, was going to have 13 moons, 1 month having 2 moons in it. But this month of September specifically is all about, in regards to full moon and the solstice, really focusing on what you want to bring in for your future happiness. It's a time to recognize that thoughts really do become things, and what you choose to focus on manifests, whether that be a good thing or a bad thing that you're focusing on. So it's becoming more and more important, especially now, if we are being taught in current times specifically, to really pinpoint our focus in a positive, productive way, because it's becoming an instant manifestation. So the solstice here is a really important time to really focus on grounding positively what you want to bring in going forward into your world and everyone's world, because what we do for ourselves ripples out to help everybody, and that's the importance of it as well. And on that note of focus and bringing things in, what date actually, Chris, is important to you and your clients when you think about business?
Well, every day is important from a business cycle, but the one that I really try to get people to focus on is the first of the month. It represents the end of the last month and the start of the new one. And everybody really should take a chance to reflect backwards on what the key movers were for that particular month, but also think about the month ahead. What can I do to try to make sure this month is the one that takes me towards my far-reaching goal? Sometimes we just kind of bumble into each month and we get to the end of it and think, well, what did that actually mean for me? Did I manage to achieve something? It's starting the month on the 1st with absolute intention to really move the needle forward. Focus on the big rocks that are going to help you towards that really big, hairy, audacious goal. And that's why I really think the 1st of the month is that key date when you sit down, maybe clear your diary for the whole day and just look at each particular week, each particular month, and make sure that you're doing the things that matter. Sometimes we just sort of wake up and fall into the things that come to us as opposed to really stating with intention, what are the key things I have to do today? What are the 5 big moves that I've got to make sure that are moving me towards that really big, long thought process in the distance? Because every day, those tiny little incremental gains will be the things that drive momentum towards the achievement of the finish line. So to me, the 1st September is important. I don't dispute that the 23rd of a solstice month is not important, but for me, it's the start of the month. Absolutely get in with gusto and vigor and nail the day, nail the month, nail the quarter, nail the year. Okay, my pass back to you then, Shona, in terms of our next point. I think it's 15 all. What tools do you use to help people bring positive energy into their lives?
One of the things I'm really passionate about is helping people to really break through fear barriers and any blocks in their world to creating what they see happening for themselves or want for change for themselves. And one of the main tools that I use to do this is actually firewalking. And I am very passionate about it. And interestingly, for me and my journey, when I was young, I was literally petrified of fire. I wouldn't go near a fire, I wouldn't light a match. And now I am a fire walking instructor, breaking through my own fears with fire, but also helping others to do that too. Because if you can raise your vibration, your mindset, your focus to a place where you can walk across hot coals, what can stop you? What can stop you once you've done that? You know?
Well,
it's my main tool for me, and it's the main tool that I take forward to help others. So on the question, going back to you, Chris, how do you get your clients to realize what the current problem is to fix?
well, I'm actually thinking game, set, and match. I think I'm done. I don't know if I can beat firewalking. One of the things that we do as part of our onboarding process is to get people to do a number of things. And the one I love is the sort of what I call the wheel of life. And I ask them to put a theoretical wheel together and mark it off with 8 particular quadrants. And they would have topics on them such as money, wealth, relationships, health, work-life balance. And they then score that wheel from a number of 1 to 10, 1 being in the middle and 10 being brilliant on the outside. And if you sort of visualize, this is a wheel. And if this wheel was to move really, really fast, a brilliant round wheel would just carry on with as much speed as needed. The faster you push it, the faster it goes. The problem with a lot of us when we work in business or just day to day is that there's a little block in there somewhere, a little kink in the wheel. No matter how fast we try and move, that little kink just stops us and stops us. Every time we try to move forward, perhaps it's our work-life balance. Perhaps we don't feel quite within ourselves in terms of our health and wellness. Or perhaps our relationships aren't really on form. But we kind of always seem to get through the day and that little kink, we sort of get past it. But it'll never really help us with everlasting momentum. So the key thing I get them to do is to really take a moment to look at their wheel and identify where's that break, where's the kink, where's the spot, where's the puncture. And then we talk about how we can focus on fixing that. Not overlooking it, not trying to paper over the cracks, but actually dealing with it head on to say, what does it look like in a year's time? What would you like people to be saying about you or feeling, or what would you like to see? Or what objectives would you like to have? To say to you that you've moved past that point, maybe you haven't got a smooth wheel, but it's smoother than it was when we started. Okay. Shona, so we've just been on this firewalk and hopefully everybody's not got blisters, anything on their feet. So on the subject of momentum, once they have that momentum, your clients moving forward, how do you enable them to get through their obstacles to allow them to carry on moving forward in your sphere?
Okay, well, in doing the firewalk in the first place, I've broken through many barriers, but in breaking through barriers, what it does is it brings stuff up sometimes to clean out afterwards the things that the remnants of the blocks you've walked through. And it's actually recognizing that every thing that comes up that's showing you something of how you used to be. That's an important point. How you used to be. It's showing you that that is leaving you, so that this new you that you've brought in through the fire can be manifest and move forward. So when something is coming up, it is really something to be grateful for. The gratitude is important in this because it's showing you, and you can actually say to it, wow, I've overcome that because it's come up to leave. So when things come up, it's not something to hold on to anymore. It's something to let go of. It's not you anymore because you've broken through that in doing the firewalk. It's just leaving, and you can celebrate everything that comes up. Every obstacle is a celebration that takes you forward to a better version of you. So it's keeping focused. And of course, I'm always there as a support mechanism. So if you need assistance to that focus, but really, once you've got that focus from walking across the fire, it's keeping that there because you're headed towards that goal that you focused on as you walked. And it's celebrating everything that's coming up to leave you. And you go, wow, I used to do that. No, I don't do it anymore. Yeah. And you wave goodbye as it whizzes through. You know, that is really what it's about. Once you've taken those steps, you hold on to nothing anymore. You just focus on where you're going. So, and basically celebrate everything. Celebrate everything, because everything is taking you to your better version of you. Okay, so on that note, Chris, when you're helping your people, how do you get them to visualize their success? And how do you get them there?
Okay, I like to try to deal with metaphors of things that they can visualize themselves. And something we talk about in a specific keynote session is what I call spears and darts. And I first let them try to visualize holding this almighty, massive, powerful spear, and it has magic powers. And they kind of grip it. And I say, right, okay, you're Fatima Whitbread, you know, or Steve Batley, great javelin player, and you can absolutely chuck this sphere as far as you possibly can, this spear. And it's suddenly, when you throw it in the air, this magical gust of wind throws the spear so far in the future that it's out of sight. But this spear represents the goal that you're after. And it's got a platinum core. And in the sunlight, even though the curve of the earth is so that you can't see the spear, it sort of blinks at you. And at night, it's got this clever little infrared beacon on it. And you can still see it blinking over the future. But every day you try and get closer to your spear, and you suddenly find yourself going along the landscape and you have obstacles. And then I say these represent little darts. So every now and then you just have to throw a little dart on the map, and that's the next point to get to. And as you go there, you find that the land is full of perhaps bracken or heather or nettles, or there's a gorge that you have to navigate through, or a river. And these represent the obstacles that we come across every day in business or in our lives. And the point is, today all I need to do is just get to where the dart landed. It's not about getting to the spear, because that's my ever-enduring goal. I just need to get to the dart. But every day it's about having the enthusiasm, the commitment, the positivity, and the passion just to get to that dart. And if you can get to that dart every day, you're going to eventually grab hold of that spear again and then chuck it forward again for your next idea. That's the big idea that you want to try to grapple with. So that's my thought process on that. Having a real feeling of spears and darts to try to get you from one step to the next. Well, I think, Fiona, we're about 40 all, and it's a lovely way to finish. But I'm actually beginning to think here about something that perhaps we could do together. And I think we could combine a firewalk with spears, darts, and breaking arrows. And why don't we set ourselves our own little goal here for the 23rd of March next year, which is the spring solstice, I think, when we can really start to think about renewal. You do a firewalk, I'll do a mindset session, and maybe we can raise some money for Mark Burns' Three Bears Foundation at the same time. How do we feel about that, Mark?
Absolutely. That would be awesome, Chris. Yeah, it is something really positive to focus on going into the new year. That would be fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And if I may say so, both well played, very nicely played, and it would be drinks break and new balls, please.
All right, well, we'll make that happen, Shona, the 23rd of March next year. Are you up for that as well, Shona?
I'm absolutely up for that. That'll be so much fun.
All right. Well, I did guarantee about 15 to 20 minutes here, so hopefully the audience has enjoyed this. It's a new format, so please be as honest or as brutal as you want with any feedback in comments that you'll find on this LinkedIn or the social media channel that this is broadcast on. Part of the Zoom call tennis is also to play somebody's music. Mark, before we do that, can you just tell us a little bit about the Three Bears Foundation and how people could donate to it today if they've enjoyed today's content?
Thank you, Chris. Yes, the foundation was created in early 2018 following the sudden death of my late wife from pancreatic cancer, which touches many, many people, many families, as we know, and now is, I think, certainly one of the cancers which, unfortunately, is less treatable, and the circumstances arising from it are usually unfortunate for every family. And part of the foundation's purpose is to raise awareness, raise profile, people becoming aware of symptoms, so that hopefully something can be spotted early, and there is therefore a chance of treatment. So far, we've worked nationally with the main Pancreatic Cancer UK charity, and since formation, they've had funds direct from us, some £90,000, which is wonderful to go towards various programs of theirs, but we're now looking to work locally as well and to try and ensure that pancreatic cancer gets a much higher profile, so that we can try and make sure that there is information out there which enables people to understand what the position is, what the symptoms are, and what the risks are. So please, Three Bears, this is my bear. If anybody has their own bear, you're most welcome. This is Lafayette, he's one of my heroes. So yes, please, the Three Bears Foundation. We are new, we are young. We were registered as a full national charity late last year. There is a website, so please do have a look for the Three Bears Foundation, and any support would be tremendous and most gratefully received. There is a PayPal link, and if you would please consider donating, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Shona, any closing remarks from yourself before we hear your special musical track of the day and we put the links up to donate and ask people to contact you if needed?
No, it's been absolutely lovely sharing space with you today, Chris, and yeah, asking the questions. It's good to focus ourselves and at the same time help others to focus and do it for a good cause like the Three Bears Foundation. So yeah, I've just absolutely loved it and look forward to many more things to come, especially what we've got planned now for the 23rd of March. Thank you.
Brilliant. Shona, it's been a real pleasure. I'm now sharing with everybody on screen all of our contact details so that they can contact any of us from the point that they wish. And